Michael Wilton of Queensryche, and you're here on Bay Area Backstage.
Pull the string, pull the string!
Scoodly, wow, wow, wow.
Bay Area Backstage.
Back in junior high school and high school, I learned the bass guitar, and I learned an acoustic guitar. I acquired an acoustic guitar from my aunt, who still lives here in the Bay Area, and the bass I inherited from my uncle who died in a motorcycle accident. And as a kid, you know, I thought they were really cool, and I just began tinkering with them, and then it eventually became a passion, and I learned how to play them. So that's kind of the formative years of how I got started playing guitar. You know, it's more about networking when you're 16 years old and trying to find other kids that do the same thing you do. You know, you want to fit in. So it was a matter of, you know, finding all the cool kids that played guitar, you know, that were badass, you know. So you want to start hanging out with them and learning their licks and learning how, you know, they do all their playing techniques, and you know, and then a few lessons here and there from different guys, but you know, pretty much I just learned by myself, you know, with my ear, and you know, and hanging out with other guitar players. Yeah, well, basically it was myself, Eddie Jackson, and Scott Rockenfield that originally got together, you know, and we were guys that had just gotten out of high school, and we had a band called Crossfire that we played in parking lots of music stores and high school dances and that whole thing, and it kind of just, it morphed into a band called The Mob. And The Mob, you know, we had grown up a little more, and we really were influenced by the whole British invasion of music that was coming to us in the import section of the record stores. And we were blown away by like Iron Maiden, Judas Priest, Accept, Scorpions, Tigers of Pantang, you know, just all these really cool bands that were playing, you know, melodic, fast, heavy guitar. You know, it was not just the traditional rock lick number one. You know, it was like, it was something that really opened up our eyes, you know, up there in Seattle. And so anyway, you know, we did that, and so we started doing some cover gigs as The Mob, and we went through singers like crazy. But the two of the songs, interesting enough, I haven't really said this too much, but two of the songs, Night Rider and Blinded, were the first two songs to be written. And we actually recorded a demo with a fellow by the name of Brent Young. He was like the singer back then. And they were recorded at Crow Studios back then. And I wish I still had the cassette of that, because he was the original singer of The Mob. And then, you know, and then we got Geoff, and Geoff was in like the Myth band, and he was kind of in both bands at the same time. But just for people who want to know, Brent Young was the original singer of The Mob. So anyway, you know, it was kids in their teens, right, working jobs and recording a demo at Triad Studios, and then you know, we had three songs. We had Blinded, Night Rider, and Chris DeGarmo had written ʻkwiːnzraɪk, right? And then we managed to get Geoff to come in and do some recording, and he had some lyrics that he had already written from the previous, and put it to The Lady Wore Black. And then that was the EP. That was 1982. And that's from there, you know, we got a couple that owned a record store called Easy Street Records, and they believed in the band, and we pressed the 4-song EP album, and we distributed it ourselves. And then it was an article that came out in a magazine from England called Kerrang, and it was the section called Armed and Ready. And we didn't even know this, but we got this badass review in there. And then that's when it went viral, and it just blew up. And the next thing you know, we're hearing ʻkwiːnzraɪk on the local radio station, and we're just blown away. And, you know, that started, and then knock, knock, knock on the door, it's EMI, and we signed like a 6-record deal, and 20 years old, and I'm like, you know, what the hell just happened? It was, you know, I mean, money, it was like, when you're young, you don't think about it that much, right? You just kind of do what you want with it. And you know, I got a car, and, you know, I got another guitar, and an amp. I got a Marshall amp, and, you know, and then it was just a matter. I was a guy that, you know, that I saved my money. So, you know, I tried to keep as stable and level-headed as I could at the age of 20 and 21, which is a hard thing to do, you know. And I tell you, I mean, it was just, everything just started happening so fast. And, you know, next thing you know, we're playing in the Paramount Theater in Portland and Seattle, opening up for a band called Zebra. And then we're, you know, thrust, you know, to a festival in Texas, opening up for Quiet Riot in front of like 10,000 people. It was, you know, for a kid, it was amazing, you know, and it just, everything just snowballed, and it just kept growing and growing and growing and growing. And, you know, the band started to gel, and we got on more tours and toured the world, and really just, you know, it was a great ride.
Are you noticing that cyclical line?
Well, it's, you know, it's kind of the rebirth of Queensryche. It's, you know, we got some new fortified energy in there, and a new chemistry that's really kicking ass. And we've been doing this for now 3.5 years. And our latest album, which is called Condition Human, is coming out on Century Media Records, you know, on October 2nd. So we're 2 records into it, but, you know, it does almost feel kind of like a new band, but just because of the energy and the camaraderie, you know, with the guys and everybody, you know, everybody's close, and we're friends, and you know, everybody's more comfortable playing together and hanging out. So yeah, it's kind of like, you know, a rebirth of the Queensryche.
That's awesome. That's awesome.
I mean, Todd is, you know, an amazing asset to the band, the way he's filled the slot. I mean, it's just, you know, he's definitely got the pipes, you know, he's got the range, and, you know, he's got the lows as well as the highs, which is, you know, it's kind of rare these days. So, he's a team player, you know. He's one of 5 basically, and his contributions are great because he's a musician, you know. He plays the drums, he plays the guitar, he plays the bass, he plays the keyboards, and you know. So when he describes something that he's hearing, you know, we understand, and it's just, he's a great communicator. If he's got ideas, he communicates them to the band, and it's just more efficient, and you know, and he's open to suggestions. You know, on this album, you know, there's a lot of lyrics that were written by different people in the band, and songs that were written, you know, melodies were written by, you know, Eddie Jackson. that he sang. So it's just, what it is it's just a big band contribution. You got 5 guys that are influenced differently, and they're all, you know, putting their best music into this pile of music, and we're creating something, and it's really fun. That's what's so cool about being in a band. Everybody's putting in their influences into the songs, and it makes it, you know, it makes it fun again. As far as, you know, my formative years and the, you know, the upbringing of my guitar playing, I mean, I was the kid that wanted to listen to everything, you know, and my father has a big record collection with all types of music, like jazz, classical, rock, metal, all that kind of stuff. So I was, as a kid, you know, I was just curious, and I was, you know, listening to the Beatles, I was listening to the Allman Brothers, I was listening to Led Zeppelin, I was listening to Rainbow, you know, I was listening to John Coltrane, I was listening to John McLaughlin, I was listening to Al Di Meola, and I was listening to classical music and all that kind of stuff. And it's just, it's stuff that, you know, that gets ingrained in your memory, you know. And it's, I think what happens is eventually it comes through your fingers, you know, as some kind of, you know, liquefied version of all your influences. They come through your fingers, and then that's kind of your style, you know. And that's, at least that's how I describe my brain. After touring on 2 years of, you know, the self-titled album from 2013, we had written quite a bit of demos and songs, and you know, the record company came knocking at the door and said, "Hey, you know, it's time to start putting another record together." So we had quite a bit of material, you know, in all different phases of arrangements. So we just put them all together, and you know, roughly we had about 25 tunes, and in different forms, and we, you know, started letting other people hear them, and then, you know, then it was decided to bring it down to 15 songs, and after, you know, getting them going and getting, you know, working on the arrangements with the producer Zeus, who was almost like a 6th person, you know, as far as getting the arrangements the way we wanted. It was just a lot of fun, you know, building the songs. And this time it was different because, you know, we didn't have as many distractions. There wasn't, you know, all this, you know, chatter, chaos stuff that was happening out. You know, we could really focus on the music. And it was like, you know, we didn't want to copy what we did on the last one. You know, we wanted to evolve. You know, that's what Queensryche does with each album. It evolves, and we want to evolve, and, you know, we want to spend more time on the songs, and, you know, and you know, give the songs depth. You know, give the songs, you know, what they deserve, and you know, let's whatever the song dictates, that's what we wanted. You know, we didn't want to have every song, you know, in a traditional pop format arrangement. We said, you know, if something needs to be 8 minutes, then it's 8 minutes, you know, and if something needs to be eclectic, then it needs to be eclectic. If something needs to be fucking heavy, then it's going to be fucking heavy, you know. It's like, it's just the song kind of dictated what we were doing. And what Zeus saw in the songs is the potential, you know, being a fan of the first 6 albums. He said, I want to capture that magic the way you guys recorded your instruments back then. I want to do that, and I want to make you current, you know, in a 2015 setting. So it's like, you know, hey, we're the guys that wrote those riffs, then played those drums and played those, you know, played the bass parts, you know, and it's like, sure, you know, and it was an inspiration, you know, and we brought that into the whole recording aspect of it, you know, and it was like, and Zeus was the guy going, yeah, do it, you know, just let it go. Let's experiment. Let's just get these songs as interesting and, you know, with attitude, and let's make them as badass as we can. And we did that with every song. And, you know, when we finally finished recording this, you know, we took a step back and listened to it, and we all looked at each other, and we all agreed. We think we have something here. So we're really excited for everybody to hear this album. Yeah, music business has obviously changed, you know, since the 80s, obviously, and it's a different world. It's kind of more of a world media, you know, thing that you need to harness to help promote you, and you need to network correctly to the right people. It's all about who you know in this business, and you know, and master your instrument, master your craft. You know, make sure, you know, you can play it live, and you know, and just, you know, have a friend or a girlfriend or something, do your multimedia, because that's so important these days. And you know, just believe in what you do, persevere, and you know, things will start happening. So we're really excited for you to check out this album. You know, it's out now, and we want you to stay in contact with us. We have @ckwiːnzraɪkofficial.com, Queensryche Official Facebook, and from there we have links to all the other media outlets that we're a part of, and Twitter, Instagram, all those. So you know, check out what Queensryche's doing and where we're touring. You can get all that at @ckwiːnzraɪkofficial.com.
We are in retreat.
Help me show 'em where I am.
Destroy the humanoid. Intruder alert, intruder alert. Intruder must not escape.